Hey guys, I wanted to do this video for a while, but I've never really been quite sure how to go about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and get through the whole lot. I was going to pick just a few of them and just talk about my favourite light guns, but I've got a few, but not like too many. So I'll just do the whole lot. Then I'll come back at the end and do like a top 5. So yeah, best way to start is with my oldest gun, which is the light phaser for the MOS system. I got this a few months back. Now, I had one of these back in the day, but I really can't remember having any games to go with it. I tried looking at a list of games and none of them rang any bells. So I must have just acquired this from someone and used it as a toy. I mean, it looks nice, but I've tried it with Safari Hunt, which is built into my MOS System 1, and it's just not too great. I mean, I'm not really a fan of 8-bit games anyways, but I remember this and the NES Zapper being very primitive. I mean, back in the day it must have been loads of fun, but for me now, this is just not even anywhere near the top 10. I mean, this must be my least favourite gun of what I've got. Sorry, MOS System, but this time you have failed me. The one that really got us into light gun games is, well, grab it here, is the G-Con 45. By Namco for the PlayStation 1. This came with Time Crisis, great arcade game. So like that, when that came out on the PlayStation 1, I was like, yes, finally I can play light gun games properly in the house. I can have like an arcade in my house. So getting this with Time Crisis, this is definitely one of my favourite guns. Mainly just for nostalgia, because I mean, there's not much to the gun, so I mean, I can give it points for that. It's nice and simple, does the job. All it needs is 2 buttons and a trigger. It doesn't work with all the PlayStation 1 games, which is a shame. So I had to buy this Konami Justifier. I mean, it's an ugly green colour, but it works with Die Hard Trilogy and Area 51. It also works with Crypt Killer, Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2, and Project Horned Owl. Games I have not played. I think I have played Crypt Killer. So I need to track them games down at some point. But a gun like this, something that is not a GunCon 45, you need this to play those games with a gun. There is also a Scorpion. I can't remember who made it, but that was bundled with Die Hard Trilogy, so you could go for that. But this is definitely a good alternative. So yeah, that is the Konami Justifier for the PlayStation. There was also a Saturn version, I believe. Yes, I'm pretty sure there was. Now, moving on to the Saturn, I have the Virtua gun, which I'm not really a fan of, basically because it's a bit big for my liking, and it feels like it could have been made smaller. It feels like it's just full of air. It's quite light, but also the aim always seems to be off. I don't know if that's down to like the size of the TV that I'm using, or if this is slightly faulty. I mean, I've tried cleaning it, but nothing seems to have changed, so it's not for me. Moving up to its bigger brother on the Dreamcast. Well, this is a nice gun. It's got a nice trigger on it, a few extra buttons for navigating menus. I'm not too keen on the top bit though, for the VMU. I can understand why it's there, but I think they could have just made it so that you have to plug in your controller into the third or fourth port, and have your VMU access that way. So I think this is probably a bit too much, but I can see why it's there. This is a nice gun, as I've said. So this is definitely in my top 5, which I will still do at the end. Moving back to PlayStation. PlayStation 2. We've got the GunCon 2. Now, I was going to say at first that the GunCon 45 is my favourite, but then I thought about what could you do to make the GunCon 45 better. And basically, it's this. Button on the bottom, a couple of extra buttons. This is perfect, but the only thing with this is that this only works with the PlayStation 2 games. You can't use this through your PlayStation 2 to play the PS1 games. You still need a GunCon 45 for that. And if you do have the GunCon 45, you can play the majority of the PlayStation 2 games. So that wins points there. So it is a toss between GunCon 45 and this one as my number 1. Moving on to PlayStation 3, you've got the GunCon 3. Now this is an ugly gun. The analog sticks on it are unnecessary and horrible to use. I mean, this orange, it's just absolutely horrible to look at. So what I did is I got another one of these, and if I can find it, where I put it, there it is, hidden with my other black guns. I painted it black. I painted the buttons silver and some of the little accents and stuff, and I changed the analog sticks with PlayStation 2 analog sticks from an old controller. Now, as I was saying, these analog sticks are unnecessary because they're basically only used for the added sections of Time Crisis 4 for the PS3. Those sections weren't in the arcade version, so it just seems a bit pointless to have them in. Like, they could have just not added them in. I mean, this also works on Time Crisis Rising Storm, along with Dead Pirates and the actual arcade version of Time Crisis 4 without the extra bits in. So I think that is the better game to buy, but that's another video. But to get this working on your HD TVs, you get these little sensors, which just pretty much just hang on the top of your TV. Similar to that is the Ems Top Gun 2, which is mainly for PC, but also works on Xbox and PS2. This was hard to track down. I'll show you the gun itself. It's quite a nice gun. It's got a few extra buttons and stuff, little switches, buttons everywhere really, but it is a pain in the backside to calibrate and get working. But this is, since it's for PC, it also works on HD TVs, which comes with these sensor bars, which just go at the side of your TV. And again, these have got LEDs built into them. It works the same way. So that's good to have, and it works great with MAME as well. Then moving back to PlayStation 3, you've got this little gun here. Now, I wasn't really a fan of it at first, but it is simple and it does the job. I think it feels a bit too small, but once you've got the move controller in there, I mean, it looks ridiculous, but it works and it's not too bad. It's not in my top 5, but this one certainly is the Sharpshooter. Now, I was pretty excited to hear about this when it got announced. It really only works with a few games. I can't see them bringing out many more now that the PlayStation 3 is pretty much gone. It's all about PS4 now, I guess. But this is a nice gun. It's got a little attachment here for navigation controller. You put your move controller on the top, extra buttons everywhere, switches. I don't even know what this part is called, but the thing I don't like about it is that it doesn't really lock properly. Once it's out, you can't push it back in, but once it is in, you can't lock it so that it doesn't come out. I mean, there's a lock button there. Nope, that doesn't work either. It's got nice reload mechanisms. Another one on the bottom there. Buttons everywhere. It's a really nice gun. This is definitely in my top 5. So we're getting close to the end now, and all I've got left really is the Wii. There's not really much I can say about the Wii stuff, because all the light gun stuff is in the controllers, and I mean, just like the Sharpshooter and the other the Move gun attachment or whatever it's called, it's basically just a bit of plastic. The Wii Zappers really don't have much extra buttons on them, just a little trigger, which is basically a bit of plastic that moves to hit the actual trigger button on the Wiimote, which is a bit of a shame because these are a bit overpriced for what they are. This is the one that came with Link's crossbow training, and probably costs us like 10 quid second hand. You can get similar things in Poundland, which is alright, but for the official thing, you're going to have to pay a little bit more. Same goes for the House of the Dead Zapper, which is basically the same thing, but silver. Overpriced, and it's really only so that your Wii controllers actually feel like a gun. Now, this on the other hand is the Overshot. I'm pretty sure it's got a different name in the US, but I can't remember. This was the first gun attachment that I got for the Wii, and it was absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, it is a little bit broken now. One of the little levers is broken off, so I would like to get a new one at some point, but you don't see these around all that much now, so it's a bit of a shame. Now this is absolute great for reloading, because it's like an actual shotgun. The only problem is with games like Ghost Squad that require you to press plus and minus to continue if you lose a life. You've got to pretty much take this door off to get to them, so it's a bit of a shame that you can't really access those buttons. I mean, it wouldn't have been hard to have two little holes there, buttons on top, pushing down, there you go, there's the extra buttons. So it's a bit of a shame that they missed out on that. So it's a little bit of an inconvenience to keep opening this and closing it or whatever, or just taking it off. But it does have the nunchuck attachment built in, which is nice. Now, for the top 5. Now, although I've pretty much just slated it, I think this, the Wii Zapper, has got to be number 5. Mainly because it is a good attachment, a good official attachment, that works with a lot of games on the Wii. I could have had the Overshot, but it's just too much of a faff on to keep opening and closing, to press buttons. So this one, all your buttons are there, no messing about. So this is my number 5. Number 4 is the Dreamcast gun. Now, again, I kind of slated this a little bit with the extra attachment and stuff, but it's a really nice trigger. The sight on it is great. It's got extra buttons to navigate the menus and stuff. It's just a really nice gun. So this is my number 4. Number 3 is the Sharpshooter. Now, although it is overpriced in shops, you can get it quite cheap on eBay. I got mine for like 12 quid or something. Now, although you do need extra parts to it to actually have it function, it is a really nice gun. It's got a nice feel to it. All the extra buttons make it feel like it's more complicated than what it is, so it just feels like a good gun. So yeah, this is really nice to use on the few light gun games that are out on the PlayStation 3. So this is my number 3. And my number 2 is the GunCon 2. Now this was very close to being my number 1, but it had to be number 2 mainly because you can only use it with so many games, and I'm not really a fan of a blue gun. It's a great gun, but I just wish you could use it on the PS1 games as well. And if you are kind of paying attention, you would know that my number 1 is the GunCon 45, the original GunCon, the one that started all for us. Now this is my number 1 because you can use it with all those great Namco shooting games. You've got your Time Crisis 1 and Project Titan. You've got the Point Blank 1, 2 and 3, Ghoul Panic. There's probably a few more that I haven't even come across yet in the PS1. But it also works with Time Crisis 2, Time Crisis 3, Vampire Knight, Ninja Assault. So yeah, there's quite a few games that this works with. Works on PS2 as well, so it's kind of cross console. So yeah, this is my number 1. Now, as an extra little thing, if there's guns out there that you haven't seen here and you think I should have, please leave comments in the comment section below and I'll try and hunt them down, and I'll do another one of these videos sometime soon. Well, not soon, but sometime in the future. So thanks for watching. See you later.